Greetings and welcome to Star Trek Discovery Pod, a sometimes funny, trying to be smart podcast covering all things new and classic Trek. The Z word. I'm your captain, Mariah Gossett. With me on the view screen, we have
Clyde Haynes. Klingons, zombies, zombie Klingons. That is a new move for Trek.
Indeed.
And it's your favorite discommentated Paul Touchett.
Paul's the Touch It is back, and Mike will be back next week. One day, all four of us will be on this podcast at the same time.
Is it that like Mike and I are the same person?
Yes. I think y'all are just changing in the transporter every week, right?
Like we're doing Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello.
A strange new world.
It's a great movie.
The whole time. Sorry, that's such an earworm. Yeah,
and since let's just get it out of the way. Mrs. Doubtfire, key lime pie right to the face. There we go.
There we go.
Pie.
We do.
Gotta get that food in early, so now we're good.
Food reference made, and we're ready to talk about Shuttle to Kenfori, which was directed by Dan Liu, written by Anitra Johnson and Bill Wolkoff. But before we dive into chatting about this week's zombie-filled episode.
Wait, there were zombies?
Oh, there were some zombies. They were not alive, as the scanner showed.
The tricorders showed.
The tricorders were like, there's no life here. Just the undead. You can subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscription button. And on YouTube, you can hit the notification bell so you know when we are going live. Links to share the show with your friends are available at StarTrekPod.co. And you can come hang out with us over on the Patreon, hang out with us on the Slack for just $2 a month. What a deal. Clyde, how can people chat with us during this live stream here on the U of Tubes?
Wow. I want to say something clever about communicating like a zombie, but I'll just say type capital P, capital O, capital D, capital pod in the chat, and we'll take a look at your comment, your question, your query, your musings, your brains. But yeah, pod in the chat, and in a moment, type HF, and we'll get your overall thoughts about this episode.
Indeed. Speaking of which, I do think it is time for that. And in honor of the other movie that came out this week, we'll play this one.
I think that should be called a fantastic freak.
A fantastic freak, yeah.
Ooh,
you know, remember when Chris Evans was in the Marvel universe as the Human Flame? What a time.
Yeah, he's come up since then. Well, little upgrade.
Little upgrade. But what did y'all think of this episode? I feel like y'all have already predicted my thoughts on this episode, but we'll get into it.
Clyde, why don't you go first?
So horror genre is not my thing. I think The Walking Dead was a phenomenal show, and I didn't watch it because at some point I was like tapping out zombies. I thought this was zombies aside, I thought the kind of interesting, confrontation, I guess is the best way to say it, between Mbenga and the assassinated ambassador's daughter was interesting. That typically felt Trek, like this, this thing that you did that you thought was over has lasting consequences that you now have to face. So I kind of like that. I thought there's a lot of interesting things going on with this whole Gorn and Captain, and that's an interesting. So overall, there are some pieces here. Kind of, if I had to sum it up, this felt like an interesting way to move us to some more interesting episodes on the way.
Interesting. It's like a bridging episode. I thought that this episode was actually, I found the zombies the least interesting thing about the episode, which isn't actually a bad thing. I think, like, in this way, I think that they're starting off very strong with character work this season in a way that, like, so you see Pike and Marie like having relationship woes. We know that she's not going to make it, right? Because like he ends up with the girl on that one other planet. So I don't know if she dies, but like we know where Pike ends up. Um, so it'd be interesting. And like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't date Gorn. It's a preference. I think that would be pretty funny. uh, I think like the stuff on the planet, it was pretty good. I'm not always the biggest fan of like I have a dark sordid past. Don't wake the monster up. And then karate. I'm not always a big fan of it, but like it was done. It didn't overstay. It was brief enough that it didn't overstay. So I thought it did a good balance job of genres that I don't particularly care about that much.
I will say this, Paul.
Mhm.
The whole like don't wake the monster thing is interesting to me because it's your maybe toughest warrior is your doctor. Like that's so fascinating that
That's
he's got these two sides of Hippocratic oath and I will cut you down. Don't play with me. like that's
I don't know,
fascinating to me.
there is your descendant of Kan Ning Sung, who is your security officer.
Who didn't get enough screen time in this episode for me. I'm just saying,
like
I was a little disappointed. There's no fancy dresses, not
yeah.
enough screen time. I would even take some weird hot dogs. So I hear you.
And in episode 1, she did basically drag them out of the Gorn stomach ship.
Yeah,
and save it. So
she had some pretty epic episodes.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying
No,
there are people in contention.
There's some cool things that she did, I'm sure. I just don't know that I caught any of it after the salsa dancing. So you'll have to just tell me about it.
The salsa dancing erased all the badassery. Love it.
I loved this episode.
Oh, what? Are you sure? Oh my god, my brain.
I did not expect that to come.
That's like it's like the opposite. It's like the antimatter version of the opposite of what I thought would happen. Oh,
all right. If you're listening to this, here's what you missed. So as we were just about to come onto the show, I had mentioned that as I was watching it, the first time you see like something move, I paused it and said to myself, this is a Mariah episode. And Paul goes, I said the same thing. So we immediately knew.
You knew. This is like I really liked it. I think it's also like, admittedly, I have a bias. Like, I used to watch Night of the Living Dead over and over and over again, like from small childhood. That was a favorite movie of mine. And the fact that they had the hand coming up from the pile of zombies was like a beautiful tribute to that movie. I also think it's an interesting like reference point for this episode, because I do remember when we were talking originally about the if Mbenga did kill Doc Ra last season, and the dichotomy of having a doctor, a missionary, like people who go in to help in these like war-torn situations, but someone who is then also this like quote unquote secret assassin, and how that is like seemingly at odds with each other. And that was something I think we had like I think Giraffe guested on that episode with us and talked a lot about how like her parents did work with like Doctors Without Borders. And when there's this assumption that doctors are coming into these spaces and are actually working on behalf of like governments and stuff like that, it can get really tricky. Right.
Yeah, no.
And that always stayed in the back of my head. But I would be very interested. To me, this episode continued my intrigue into Mbenga as a character, and like what the timeline of like, did he work as the ghost, that was his nickname, and then be like, I need to atone for the lives that I've taken and now I will be a doctor, like it's an interesting character arc if that's where they're kind of taking him. And I think this was similarly, as he's facing off with Doc Ra's daughter. I just had her name up because I have to look at it to pronounce it. I'll find it. But our main Klingon, when she shows up, the fact that he chose not to kill her and it's both in his knowledge, I think, of Klingon culture, and that is a fate worse than death for her, but it's, also a character change for him. Anyway, I liked it all the way around. As soon as they were like, there's no life here, and then they saw like, oh, these injuries I thought we were going monster. And then as soon as like zombies showed up, I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be some type of animal that was going to come out of the bushes. I wasn't thinking zombie at all. And so then I was like, oh, okay, nice touch.
I thought zombie because it was like, here is this super flower, and you see skeleton of a Klingon, and in my mind,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Like in my mind, it's going like, you could see a Klingon, like it just had a lot of like undeady feelings to me. And so it could like, because of all the plants and stuff like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I thought the plants were going to be the monster.
Oh, well, you're right. They were. They're plant zombies.
Yeah, they're plant zombies. So in a way, but I was like, oh, this is going to be like, the plants are slowly eating every like fleshy, object on the planet, which I also thought could have been like a fun direction to go to. But again, makeup department, I thought had a good time with this episode. I also like this budget is budgeting.
Yeah.
Our Klingons look good. But when Baitha took that like strap off her chest and it was like that wailing weapon, I was like, this is fun.
That was dope. That was so dope. I was just a little upset. I was like, why did we see that earlier?
Yeah,
that was amazing.
It was great.
Too badass.
But yeah, I think the like tension and like built with the zombies as like kind of our pushing of them getting to the top of the building was like a fun device. But I wanted to ask what y'all y'all touched on it a little bit. But this like the idea that Marie is keeping this secret from Pike going into this mission, and that's kind of originally why Spock was supposed to go. What did y'all think of that choice for her character?
It's summed up in the line for me. I first of all, I thought the dialogue between them was really interesting. Like I felt myself watching and going, "Oh wow!" Like it didn't feel cliched. It didn't feel like a trope. Like I was actually listening. But when she said, and I'll paraphrase, "It's not about you. Like this is about whether or not I live or die, not whether or not how you cope with whether or not I live or die." I was just thinking, mic drop, like that's the end of the conversation. And so it was, I just thought that was so like real and intelligent that she's saying, you're going to get caught up in the fact that that you might lose me. That's all great. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to live or die, and I don't need you trying to jump in here and control all this. So so I was completely okay with her decision to cut him out.
Yeah,
and I don't know that we've seen that. Like that's not a trope. I don't know that we've seen that trope before.
I thought it was a really I don't know if it's just the like most of the time I'm living in Texas thing, but to me I thought it was a very perhaps subtle way to talk about women's right to choose. I was like, oh, if this is like the way you're saying I have control of my body, I was like, tip my hat. Again, I'm gonna like this.
Like it's great, like because born equals baby now.
Yeah.
For me, like I'm a big believer in that no one is above being managed. Like sometimes you have to just take away choices from people, especially those you love, because they can't deal. And so like she loves him, and she was like, oh, he's not going to be able to deal, and it's going to make everything worse. And it does, because he's not able to deal. And so she's basically making the choice for him. Is it like fairy tale how you want your relationships to be? Probably not, but in the right circumstances, in my experience, like it kind of keeps relationships going. Sometimes you don't want the other person to pick. I know how I sound. I sound like a jerk right now. But
Sometimes
No,
it's like you text your spouse, here's 3 options for dinner, and you know which one you want them to pick, but you want to also give them options.
So
like
I was thinking the same thing, Mariah. Paul, you don't sound like a jerk. You sound like somebody who's decided, I really want Chinese food tonight, and I don't want to have a discussion about what we're having to eat.
well, I mean, it is that thing where I say all the time. I go, most people want 1.5 choices. They don't want
Mhm.
2 choices. That's too many. They want 1.5. And what that means is like you go, hey, I want Chinese food today, and they go, nah. That's what most people want. They want veto power. If
Yeah.
and they don't have to decide, but they do want to be able to say like, the moment you don't always know what you want, but you almost always know what you don't want.
Mm.
We
And
really
so
should start a food podcast.
that's it. I had to bring it
Um,
in, like that key lime pie bit just is not enough.
Wasn't
Not
enough.
enough,
Got
wasn't
you.
enough. Yeah, our other kind of main plot this episode is around Ortegas and sort of
Huh?
like her it's interesting that she's essentially wanting to take more risks and like willing to put life on the line. I don't know if it's like them trying to say that she's now, because she's approached death, it's like not as scary, or if it's like
Oh,
she just feels like she needs to save the day in some way.
I have a take on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What
I
are
do
your
too.
thoughts?
I think in the end, like she's not okay. Well, they were in the stomach ship, like the eating ship, and she got hurt pretty bad. And the idea of not being able to act, like to wait and to do all these things that when like someone's gonna die if you don't act now. That's her
Mhm,
perspective,
mhm,
and basically waiting is so if we wait, someone's going to die. And it worked out that they could have gotten to the ship, but it could literally worked out like they couldn't get to the ship,
mhm.
and this was the only way. There was a coin toss that way, and so in this way, she's just become impatient uh with I won't say bureaucracy, but not acting.
Mm,
I've got a similar but slight variation on that. And I feel like, she's not okay. And some of this feels like a bit of a trauma response, that she was in a situation where the illusion of control completely broke down. And she's trying to grasp something like, I can do something. And because she hasn't unpacked and dealt with this trauma that she's kind of faced, the things, the boundaries, constraints, fears that we have about some of the consequences that we have, she doesn't have. So it's almost like she can't, the things where you go, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that because the risk is too big. She can't even see that. So she's just feeling like, I got to do something because I couldn't do something before. Um, but that being said,
yeah, it was like
I'm
Kian just
actually
made an interesting point, is that
Mhm.
they do need to start paving the way for Sulu replacing Ortegas as chief helm officer at some point.
Yeah, I actually like what they're doing here though,
Mhm,
um, because it feels a little bit different. Like the thing that I realize about this particular Star Trek, because it takes place on a ship with the Enterprise name, that is a prequel to other series, and there's so much. It has to be a little hard when you think about, well, we've been in a lot of these situations before, so they're doing a pretty good job of having a fresh take and not falling into the tropes and the cliches of before. And I think having Ortega be a little bit like mavericky and out of control is an interesting kind of plot line, and I kind of want to see where it goes. And the fact that Una like saw through the whole thing was amazing. I
yeah,
mean, I thought that was great.
Well, she's number one.
yeah.
She was
She's
number
number 1 and hard. Um,
Mhm.
I liked seeing her
Clyde,
in command.
you understand this can never happen again. Ooh, that's such a good line.
Yes, yes, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think those are all like interesting points and valid takes, and I'll be interested in how they like expand her character this season and how they're going to use that to like motivate her in some way, shape, or form. It's also an interesting contrast to we often get main characters in Star Trek who have this type of attitude, but because they're our main character, it's like, you know what I mean? It's very Kirk to be like, we're going to do this and it's going to work. You know, it's like similar to I think how like Burnham might move forward with some situations, but Burnham's better at like I think the team like rally of like, oh, we came to this together as a team to figure out this problem, you know, rather than just like this is the one and only solution, which I think was the one pitfall to Ortega's plan. And you know, when she walks out and is like, thanks, Yoda, like I think it's like a lack of seeing how the teamwork could have like problem solved that all together, you know?
I mean,
Yeah, and go ahead, Paul.
I was thinking like, I understand like what it is to like need control. I understand what it is to go like, oh, like you guys are wrong. You got like I can see the right way. Kirk does that, you know.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of people like there are a lot of people who do that. I think in the end, the reason why we accept it less from Erica maybe is because she's doing it against people that we like perhaps more than her, and or at the very least we trust more than her.
Well, I don't even know if it's that, but I agree with you. I think some of it is the position, the authoritative position. When a captain does it, you're like, oh, well, they've paid the dues, they've done it. That we almost expect them to have more wisdom. When you're, is she an ensign or
She's a lieutenant.
Lieutenant. When a lieutenant helmsman, and no disrespect, she's the best pilot ever, but
Veteran of the Klingon War.
Yeah, but she's the helmsman. When she does it against the captain and the number one's rule, little harder to accept.
Like let me put it to you this way: she was in the war.
Well,
Pike and Una were not in the war.
I do think that's an interesting point that the crew is a little bit split. I think there are those who like did their time in the Klingon War. It's like your La'ans, your Erica's, you know, these characters who I think and what? Mbenga. Yeah. These are folks who I think have this darker side to all of their characters because of what they've gone through. And like it's interesting to see how like in this episode in particular you have Mbenga who's using his knowledge of the Klingons and then chooses the less violent route at the end, right? Whereas like Erica I think is still falling into a lot of these like prejudices she has about the Klingons because of the war.
Well, like let me ask you this though, like to go to Mbenga, like he knows by not killing her, it's a fate worse than death.
Right.
So is he being like nice or is he being a dick?
I mean, but it's interesting because, right, it depends on the morals of the society, right? As a human, not killing her is a more moral choice for him. But
like for all of it, like, you know, I don't think like assassin Doc, one more Klingon isn't gonna really tip the scales, and she's kind of asking for it.
Yeah, but I think it's not about what she's asking for. It's about who he is.
Yeah.
And this is a situation where it's one thing if he's killing in self-defense, but she is saying,
well, he admitted it wasn't self-defense, but he is like, you know, this is
I'm talking about everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm talking about everybody else he's laying down in the heat of battle. But like this is a moment where he's going, I will not let you bait me into killing you. Like the thing about it was when she was like, fight me, he's looking at her and going, my life's not in danger because you can't beat me. Right? Like he wasn't looking like there was no, from his standpoint, there was no chance she was going to win that fight. And he's like, she's just trying to get me to kill her. And he's like, that's not who I am. And so he made a choice. So I don't think he was being a jerk. I think he was going, I'm not doing this and you can't make me. Like it was kind of a power move for himself.
Let me put it this way. So Picard. You know Picard, right? He in the future he's a captain.
Heard that guy before, yeah.
So he's very much about duty and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
And so there's an episode where like Worf breaks his back, and Beverly goes like, we're gonna rehabilitate him, and and blah 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 blah, and Worf says we can't do that because it's not what he wants. It's too far for him to go. It's for you and me maybe it would work, but for him it's a you cannot do that. And in this way, like, the consequence that this all starts off because Mbenga kills this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he kills someone, and there are consequences to that.
Well, did he kill him, or he just didn't
said
save
it.
him?
He said, like, the guy gave me an opportunity to kill him, and I killed him because he's a dick.
Well, it was because he was the one who put in the order to kill a huge amount of civilians.
And so it said was it an assassination? Yep, that's what
he assassinated. Yeah, he's like, I assassinated a war criminal. Yeah, I did that.
And so now he assassinated, and the consequence of that is like his daughter is like completely screwed in the eyes of in her culture.
Yeah,
and what she wants is either to kill him or for him to kill her. She's fine with either. And he's like, I'm going to give you nothing. That's, and he's well capable of killing her. And so
it would not have been hard.
And so my thought process is like, is he being merciful or is he being kind of selfish? I don't know.
Probably somewhere in between.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I love the character. The character's great. I love Ninja Doctor. Great.
Yeah.
Like, wait, Ninja drug addict doctor.
I mean, it's he's kind of like a murder nun. I mean,
murder nun. Very good. Murder nun it is. We'll go with that.
I like it.
What do you think of this potential hybrid Gorn situation with Marie? And is this how we get the more humanoid Gorns? Are they all descendants of Marie?
Oh, that's mitochondrial Marie. I hope they do something with it. I suspect that it's just going to be a way for Pike and Marie to break up.
Mm. Do we think she's going to die, or do we think she's going to?
If it were me, her dying would probably be more I think I would expect her to die. But if she had merged with the Gorn and then she became a different person because it was merging with the Gorn and then they have to break up, that would also be really tragic and interesting too.
I just hope we get a little. My only problem with, and I think, Melanie Sconfrano, who plays Batel, is like doing a good job. I just wish they were giving her, or I wish we were getting more of her backstory. Do you know what I mean? Just like a little bit, because right now she's pretty much only being used as a motivator for Pike's character to do stuff and have reactions to things.
Yeah, but
I know we got her as like a lawyer and Ad Astra, and like we've gotten some of this, but it's like, why are they such a great couple? It's like, what's like, anyway, just a couple, even just a few lines would make me more happy.
I think you have taken, like, there's a certain comfort in the privilege that you've had, because right now I go, they're both captains. Remember when that first episode 1 and they were hooking? I go, oh my god, an appropriate power dynamic between two.
I know I have been spoiled by appropriate power dynamics, but
and I was like, oh, well, that's great. I'm totally fine with that.
Something's off for me because I'm just not attached to her character. And I can't figure out why.
I can tell you because she was really a real jerk to Una in Ad Astra.
Maybe that's it. And that's my favorite episode. So maybe I'm holding a grudge.
Yeah, and you didn't what's his name in Picard? What was his name? And the captain that in Picard season 3.
Your guy, yeah. I don't know. I I don't think she's gonna make it, and I do think this is kind of dangerous. And this is one of those situations where I'm like, you guys haven't really
Ooh.
told anybody else what's going
Oh, wait,
on.
Mariah theory. I can tell right now it's a
Here
Mariah
we
theory.
go.
Everyone,
Yep.
stop the horses, stop the presses.
Here we go.
What if she fully transforms and Pike has to kill her?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one, Mariah. I could see that because I this is dangerous, and this feels like it feels like all of the YA novels that drive me nuts because I'm thinking this book would be over pretty soon if
Hard
you just told an
E.
adult, right? If you just told an adult, help would arrive and it would be over. This is one of those situations where I'm like, have you told anyone in the Federation that there's a potential Gorn that's gonna have a John Hurt moment any moment now?
Well,
No,
I'm
you guys
assuming
are
they
trying
would
to
have.
figure this out on your own.
Well, I'm assuming they have to know something
Sure.
Do they?
for her to get her captainship back.
Well, I think.
Yeah, but would they give her her captainship back if
That's
they
what they were
knew
about to
there
do,
was
and
a
then she passed
tiny
out.
Gorn inside of her?
But they didn't know that. They
They
thought the
didn't know
Gorn.
that. The Spock mind meld moment was interesting. That he's
Mhm.
essentially her aggressive side is her like Gorn that has been absorbed into her body, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, no, I like it. What, like, you could. They were saying, oh, the Gorn is going to be a part of this because you saw Spock look through the Gorn's predator eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and so I thought it was pretty. Like, I'm going to say though, like that new nurse.
Gamble
Yes.
just gets the shit kicked out of him.
Like to be fair, that boy can take a punch because like my
Across
ribs would
the
be
room.
across the room, ribs, nothing. He's just standing there like nothing. I'm going like, dude, like I know your ribs are broken.
I was thinking,
You
welcome
got
to the Enterprise, newbie.
it's like you got Mortal Kombated by like Gorn Vulcan.
I was like, I knew you didn't think you joining the cast in the middle of this season was gonna just be that easy. Welcome to the big show.
We're gonna put you in a rig and we're gonna toss you across this set. Get ready.
That's right. So
I'm a little surprised we didn't see the mini-handed bartender this episode.
Yeah, we didn't really have a bar scene though.
Oh, and also like I finally understand. Isn't she Lieutenant Eric's race from the animated show?
Yeah, I would assume
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah. And they were in a couple of lower decks as well. The one where they go to the where he thinks he's going to get put down for being a faulty where Boimler gets put on the shuttle and they think they're going to like a sketchy planet.
Oh
Remember
yeah. Because he's half glowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, overall, I mean, I kind of agree with the idea that this bridged a lot of stuff. I feel like it's kind of it's reminding us of things from last season. It's continuing Ortegas's journey with her mental health and sort of like where she's going to land. And then I thought a lot of the scenes between Pike, I liked when we got Pike and Benga like talking about their past, like the shuttle thing was fun. I'll say I did have a moment when I went, are we crashing at the Enterprise again? Like, we have like the classic tropes of like, how many times do we crash the Enterprise into a planet? But yeah, I enjoyed the Mbenga and Pike like shuttle stuff and like their banter. Like I thought it did a good job of, in the way that I think most horror movies do, is like you have to balance the like scary and the intense with like moments of humor. And so I thought this episode did that for me.
Like,
Yeah, I also
you go, Clyde. Mine's completely different. So
I was just thinking that one of the things that we're getting with this, I'm going back to this thought of the transition between Ortegas and Sulu. It's fascinating to me because I naturally assume that what was going to happen is because Ortegas is so great, there was going to be a promotion, right? And so I never really thought about this. I just assumed there'd be a promotion and kind of like Scotty coming on and helping out Pela. It would be Sulu would be the new guy on the bridge helping out, and that would probably go into like one of the final episodes. But now it's like maybe they don't do the obvious thing. Maybe there's a different arc for her altogether, a darker, kind of more negative arc.
Yeah,
That'll be interesting to look at.
it's hard for me to see that because, like, the you know, Strange New World, Strange New World. It's such a blue sky show. Like, like I don't. You're already your quote unquote main character. You already know they're gonna have a horrific situation. So I can't imagine that putting too many people in that darker trajectory would be something that would be true to the promise of the show. And ultimately, I don't think that Stu is going to come until we get rid of Mitchell, because you can't have two Asians on the bridge.
I ran into John Chu at the gym on Sunday.
John,
Speaking
cool.
Really?
Mhm.
I'm actually like a kind of a huge John Chu fan, and I'm not even sure why. I am.
He's directed a few movies that you might like.
Mhm.
Man, I am actually like I'm a fan.
Like he was at the gym in WeHo.
No, this was a different gym.
Like, because he lives all the way in Topanga.
Oh, really?
You just giving out his home address on the pod.
I didn't give his that
Oh,
home
it's like-
address.
It was like east of the 5, so
Yeah.
other gym.
East of the
Wow.
5. Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
I feel
was
like
like-
my neck of woods. Yeah.
Are you
Yeah, it
sure
was
it wasn't
like-
someone who looked like
No, I'm
Are
positive.
you
I'm
sure it
positive.
was John Cho?
Yes, I'm positive. We were in the same small room stretching. Anyway, fun times in Los Angeles and going to the gym. What I forgot where I was even going with this. What did y'all think of the final kind of battle set piece with the zombies in the cage?
I found it like fighty. I found it like one of those things where, like, oh, look at that, someone hurt the force field. Oh no, zombies are going to come in. If only we could have seen that this was going to happen. Like, so I found the plotting of it a little rote, but I thought it didn't overstay. I guess ultimately what I do. I don't know if I like or don't like, but I always note the fast zombies, because like I in my day, like, zombies were not fast, but then like 28 days later really kind of changed that. So like,
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, so it just
You're
seemed.
you're right though, Paul. Like back in the day, it was about endurance. You could walk. If you could fast walk, you could out fast walk a zombie.
But
The
see,
goal was don't get cornered, right? And pace yourself. Like that's what you were trying to do. Just you could just kind of walk because they were just moving. Now,
no, but
these
zombies
sprint.
zombies are persistent hunters. Like,
Yes,
you run away from them, you take a rest, they're still walking. Like,
exactly.
you're sleeping, they're still walking. They
Yeah, but if
don't
you-
win, they outpace you.
Right. You can focus and get up. Nowadays, these zombies, these are like
Cardio
track team
zombies.
zombies. Yeah, these
So,
are
like, what's some of these cardio zombies? That's not fair. Dead and fast.
The zombie.
It's the era of 28 days, weeks, and years later. We all have all the fast zombies.
Oh, like B. On the side, B saw 28 years later, and she goes like, "It's like the Slumdog Millionaires of zombie movies."
I mean, it's a Danny Boyle flick. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, that's how she described it. As the Slumdog Millionaire zombie movie. Like, oh, I don't know what that is, but like,
I had a good time.
Yeah,
it's a great
ending is a wild choice.
What? What? Are you sure? Oh my god, I don't even know you anymore, Mariah.
What could it be?
No, like, I liked not love this episode, but I'm excited where it's gonna take us. I do think we're seeing some incredible set pieces. I just thought what they did on that planet and how they dressed the set for the space station and where they were going was like it definitely doesn't feel like we're in season 1 anymore. They're putting some money into the
Like, it
show, and
definitely
I'm here
like,
for it.
you had in this episode, you had debris field space battle, pew pew. You had you had and you had the whole on the ground set piece. Like, it's like, do you
Yeah.
remember in season 1 there was that episode where people turned into light, and Una's like, biology saved them, but like,
Mhm.
do you
Mhm.
remember that episode? Like,
Yeah.
do you remember what it's called?
Oh.
It doesn't
No.
matter because
No.
it's a throwaway
It's the one
episode.
where they go to her planet, you know?
It's a throwaway episode, and this,
Okay.
I feel, is also a throwaway episode, except for the fact that, like, I think it's a really well done throwaway episode. It's
Sure.
not it's not going to be something that I come back to as far as regularly, but like, thinking about how much energy and effort they put into it, they put care into this episode, and I thought that was pretty. I respect that.
Yeah. And Mariah, to answer your question, so my first thought when the shield went up and they're about to fight, I was thinking, well, this is stupid. Like, you're in the middle of a life or death moment, right? Where not just you might die, but that you have the a potential to be eaten or turned into a zombie. That's not
Not
fun. And
not
what
my
you
zombie.
want to do right now is you want to fight.
I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think he had a choice though, you know?
Well,
I
not
don't.
her, not he.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think she's like,
Oh,
let's
yeah, yeah.
fight. And I'm like, you, pick another time and place
Well,
to fight.
actually,
Gee.
that's very interesting. Like, I've been watching a TV show called The Foundation, and in
I
season
tried to
1,
watch it. Okay,
I
season one,
understand.
yes.
In season 1, there's this person who is very much like this person here, who is killing and blah blah blah, and
Mhm.
just wants revenge and blah blah blah. And someone goes like, "Look, if you do that, your whole planet is going to be wiped out." And she goes to him, "You don't understand what it is to be vengeance. You don't like." And so, like, it's
Mm,
not about the logic of like, will I survive?
yeah.
It is only about the emotional satisfaction of like getting your goal, which on the one hand, I have to respect. You know? I've
Okay.
always respected people who are goal focused.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, how much you really want to kill someone if you are if like if you because on the other side of that, and there'll be zombies eating you afterwards. Like, I'm gonna kill you rather than find a way out. Let me kill you, and we'll see what happens there. I don't know what's gonna happen. Probably zombies, but whatever happened, I'm gonna kill you first. That's respect.
I, I'm, I guess I'm just thinking I could probably handle death. What I don't want to handle is being undead. Like, I
But
don't
you
want to
wouldn't have
deal with
any awareness of it.
that. That's true.
Remember? No
Or
life
would you?
signs.
No life
Well,
signs.
I don't know. Like,
Would you want to be a slow zombie or a fast zombie if you had to be a zombie?
Fast
uh,
zombie.
the cardio zombie?
I'll be a cardio zombie.
You know, like, I'm a big, like, when we talk about undeads, like, I'm a big vampire undead. Like, like,
Mm.
I always go to people all the time, and
So
people can use it.
eternal life
Like
as an
like
eternal dead.
like I go to people like, would you rather be a werewolf or a vampire? And I'm always shocked when there are people go like, oh my god, werewolf, of course. And it's so outside the realm of my conception, because it's the answer is just always so vampire. But that said, I would rather be a slow zombie so I don't hurt people. Come on, that's the right answer, Clyde.
Fast zombie. And have you seen the movie Teen Wolf? Werewolf is the answer.
Like, so you're a werewolf person? That's totally cool. Like,
Just saying.
I know that this is a huge divide, and it's not blue or red. It's werewolf or vampire.
I get to go to parties. I get to play basketball.
Mhm.
I get to date. Werewolf.
Okay, right? Like, I'm not crapping on it anymore. I'm a lot older.
No,
I'm much older vampire now, and I'm
no,
much
I
more
can
mature.
understand. I can understand the vampire. Like,
Like, basically, vampire is basically, you know, you get to live forever and be as beautiful as you were, which in my case, uh, but in
I
all
think
it
I like
costs,
Sunshine too much. Also,
yeah,
there's a fun show on Peacock. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's a woman who is a werewolf, and so she's built herself like a bunker. So for
uh-huh,
the full moon, she like puts herself in the bunker, but
sure.
then one night she accidentally takes a date home and she forgets it's the full moon, and it's pretty fun. It's a fun little show.
But
I can
here's
remember
the
it.
thing: vampires in literature, especially more recent literature and movies and stuff, vampires always seem rich, so that's kind of
Yeah,
appealing
no
too.
castles, baby. But
That's some
like
old wealth.
to be fair though, like that's not unfair. Like that's a stereotype. They're the I sleep in the slums sewer vampires too. So like we can't just
We
stereotype that
can't
way.
all be Lestats, you know.
That's right.
And if
Unless
you're listening to us for the first time, yes, this is the strangest Star Trek podcast on air, but that's what keeps it fun. Food,
I
vampires, that's us.
Yeah. I also realized, Paul, I think I just mispronounced the person's last name and you didn't realize who I was talking about, which is John Cho, not John Chu.
oh, okay, yes,
I was
there you go.
yeah.
Because those two
I knew who you were
people are
talking
very
Because I
about.
was
That's
like,
my
you're
dude.
talking about Sulu. And I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
saw a Sulu.
I thought I was singing something, and you go like, oh well, he sings something. I saw John Chu. Like
No,
those two are
that's
very
what.
different people.
They are very different
Look,
people. I just mispronounced the last
I'm
name.
such a fan. I'm like the only person on the planet who was disappointed when Selfie got canceled. Just saying.
Oh,
Snuffy.
that's sweet. I guess like John Cho or Chu, however your
It's Cho.
So,
whatever your
I
accent
was the
is,
one. I mispronounced it.
John Cho and like Nebula.
Karen Gilliam, yeah.
Fun times.
Yep.
Anything else to say about this episode, y'all? I mean, I think it's set up a lot of things going forward. So I'm interested to see where we're going next.
Well,
If you do want to see a little more John Cho, he does make a few appearances in Murder Ball, which Mariah doesn't like, and I actually enjoyed.
Oh, you're enjoying more. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, Murderbot. I
Murderbot,
restarted
yes.
Murderbot, and I it's growing on me. But next
me ask you this.
episode,
Not Murder Ball. That's a completely different
Yeah, no.
movie. Not nearly as good. Just saying.
Jonathan Frakes directs next episode. If
Ooh.
that's any indicator,
Pew pews.
It's probably some pew pews.
I like Frake episodes. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: if you were okay, let's assume that you do not know that Mbenga and Pike are going to get to the shuttle.
Okay.
Do you do the Una or do you do the Ortegas? Yeah, tough now, isn't it?
I mean, I think you do the Una while you try to see if you can make the Ortegas work.
Well, with the Ortegas, it can work. You just have to choose to do it. There was no problem about doing it. I would just say, but
I mean,
Una
they did lose gravity. They did like catch the ship on fire.
but they could have done it earlier. But Una goes like, oh, there's no communication that shows that they know our guys are there. So she made a choice. I'm just curious, like at that point, in the ready room, do you go Una or do you go Ortegas?
I go Una. I mean, here's the thing. Did you see the size of that Klingon battle cruiser?
Yeah.
You were on the flagship of the Federation, right?
But it's not bigger than that Klingon battleship.
First of all, the flagship of a Federation exploration science vehicle versus the battleship of a Klingon ship that is designed to do one thing and one thing extremely well: kill.
I think you're not putting enough faith in Pike and Mbenga to keep themselves out of trouble for 6 hours.
Or at least tell me that they're in trouble and come get me.
Like I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Like I'm just saying. Like I look at the situation and I understand why Una did what she did. You know, I also, but if what's her name, if Ortegas, if Erica is as good as everyone says she is, and she can deliver, which she did, you know, like why not just save your crew? And you know,
but it's just, also a larger, it's a whole ship crew versus 2 people.
I understand. I said,
yeah.
but like in this universe, we do, the needs of the one sometimes outweigh the needs of the many.
Right, but they're also on a non-Federation sanctioned mission, so I think trying to be as under the radar as possible is high on the priority list.
That is also like I said, is this not a clean yes or no? I'm just curious what you guys would do.
Yeah, totally. It's an
I'm
interesting.
going no. Yep.
It's an interesting thought.
Sounds to
experiment.
me like you are defaulting to autocratic authority. Way to go, hierarchy people. Way to go.
No, you don't understand. See, the underlying thing in this is I need more time. No, I need more time with Lon. And if you get the ship blown up, there's not enough time.
You are La'an thirsty
smitten
right now. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I just looked at the list of writers for the next few episodes, and I'll say my man Davey Perez, who usually writes the really horror genre episodes, has 2 more episodes this season. So I hope
it's all just making out. I hope it's like all Twilight style episodes.
So what you're saying is for the rest of the season, I should watch these in the daylight. Got it.
Yeah, if you're a little
watching
scared,
at lunch, not at night. Gotcha.
Spooky ookies.
I like my sleep. I'm trying to sleep well. I'm not trying to think about the zombie Klingons when I go to bed. No.
It was a good time.
If Patel turns into a raptor.
I kind of want her to have like
I think it might happen.
Like a humanoid, like I think it's gonna be. The chat's been pretty funny talking about like this is gonna be the Gorn descendant of Marie who throws the rock at Kirk.
Yeah. I love it.
It's good. It's good. All right, y'all. I think that is it for us this evening. We will be back next week discussing a space adventure hour, episode 4. So get ready for that. That's
a great title.
Yeah,
sounds like a holodeck episode.
Yeah, with Frakes at the helm, I think it's going to be a goofy one, so it should be fun. All right, y'all. Until next time, live long and prosper. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Matasta.